You're a model secretary. You don't leave me in a mess.
I get my satisfaction sharing your success.
Take a letter, Mr. Jones.
Feeling better, Mr. Jones.
You have my appreciation. You always save my life.
I'm a perfect combination, a computer and a wife.
You're a wonder. You're a marvel.
Well,
You're a treasure. Mr. Jones. End of letter, Mr. Jones.
how kind.
Morning, girls.
Morning, Mrs. Warner.
Good morning, Graham.
Morning, Warner.
Is that the memo for the sales force?
Yes.
Will you write the target figures in capital letters, please, and underline them in red?
So I'll send out a couple of Valium tablets with each copy.
No need to be facetious. Can we do a diary check, please?
In a minute, yeah.
Here it is.
Oh, Daisy, I wish you wouldn't. Right. 10 o'clock, you've got a meeting with the managing director, Mr. Lewis, and the board, and at 12:30 you're taking your daughter to the dentist.
Oh, yes. Little Lucy's been going on at me about it since this morning. She always likes me to take her. Oh, what about that reporter chap?
Oh, yes, Robin Hayes, 2 o'clock.
He'll be trying for his usual chauvinistic angle. Can a woman be a successful top business executive? He did one last week about a woman who's just become a commercial airline pilot. As if that was so extraordinary.
Which is rather unusual.
Oh, I don't see why. I'm sure if I set my mind to it, I could fly a jumbo jet across the Atlantic and land it safely.
I don't know so much. I remember the other day watching you taking 20 minutes to reverse your car into that space in the car park.
Really? A jumbo jet does not fly in reverse.
No, but you haven't flown one yet, have you?
Now, listen, this Hayes chap is really going to try and trip me up.
Ah, well, don't worry. I've done a few notes, a brief synopsis of your life and career.
Oh.
Yeah, one for you.
Thank you. I'll give it to him. That'll make sure that everything he prints is accurate. Now then, Mrs. Joan Victoria Warner, born in Guildford in 1904. Yes, I don't think he'll be interested in dates. Can we alter that to in her 30s?
Can I make it early 30s?
I don't know. Do you think so?
Well, if we pull the blinds down and switch the lights out, we can make it late 20s.
No, just make it in her 30s.
Her 30s.
Right, Mrs. Warner had an amicable divorce. Well, accurately speaking, he was a chauvinist pig.
So is this reporter.
Yes, you're right as usual. I'm going to have to impress on him that I'm a successful business executive with a reputation for making split-second decisions. Yes?
Mrs. Warner, Daisy's making some coffee. Would you like a cup?
No, thanks, Brenda. On second thoughts, yes, I will have one.
Oh, black or white?
Well, I prefer it black, really. I should have it white, less stress-making.
White, then?
No, black.
Biscuits?
No, thanks. Oh, yes, I will have just one. Oh, no, maybe make it two. Now, where was I?
You were talking about your ability as a split-second decision-maker. Except when it comes to ordering coffee and biscuits.
Graham, deciding whether to have coffee with or without biscuits is hardly a top-level decision.
It is if you like me. If I don't have a biscuit with my coffee, I get terrible heartburn.
Oh, Mr. Jones, I hope Mrs. Warner likes these biscuits. We've got 2 different kinds, so I've given her one of each and she can choose which one she likes.
No. That won't do. That's forcing her to make another executive decision. Yeah, that's probably it. Look, you two and smarten yourself up. Look at all the mess in here. We've got a reporter coming today.
A reporter? Oh, well, I wish I'd known. I've got a ladder in my tights.
Well, it doesn't show.
No, but it might go down lower.
Well, it could hardly go any higher.
I know. I'll put some of that new 60-second glue on it. It's great. Daisy's got some in her desk here. Aha, here it is. All right, it's well better than nail varnish.
Dear, you've got to be careful with that glue. Otherwise, you might stick your tights to your skin. Isn't that right, Mr. Jones?
Well, it's not a problem I've come across.
Yes, I've read it in the papers. You might not be able to get them off.
Hear that, Brenda? Don't tell your mother. She'll make you put some on every time you go out with a chap. Here, you're not supposed to be using that. It's company property.
Oh, well, I don't see why I shouldn't use it. My tights got laddered in Mr. Durrant's office last night when I was doing overtime.
Yes, and I think he should get the company to buy her a new pair.
Might be cheaper to get him to cut his fingernails. Graham Jones. Just a moment.
Yes?
It's Robin Hayes for you.
Oh, thank you, Graham.
Right. Now then, let's have a look what you've done. Yes, it is looking a bit better. Come on, the other side now.
Oh,
come on, shoo, 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 shoo.
Think Mrs. Warner's going to bother him with you? Bosses never give their secretaries any credit when they're being interviewed.
Yes, she's right, you know. All the things I've done for Mr. Durrant, he never says anything to anybody.
Especially his wife.
Do you know, they're all the same. You can't go into any boss's office these days without getting your bottom pinched.
I will have you know, Mrs. Warner does not pinch my bottom. Do be careful with my cactus. It's very delicate.
Oh, revolting, ugly thing. It's all long and thin and prickly. I don't know why you bother to keep it.
Because it reminds me of you. Coming, Mrs. Warner. Right, girls, back to work. Brenda, take that to the copying machine. I want 30 copies, please.
Yes, of course, Mr. Hayes. That'll be fine. I'll see you then. Goodbye. He's coming at 12 instead of at 2.
You're taking your daughter to the dentist.
Yes, I know, but he said that if he can get the article into the editor earlier, we'll get a bigger spread and pictures. So I couldn't refuse. Maria will just have to take Lucy.
Maria? Is that wise? I mean, she may be a very good maid, but she's Italian. She's extremely highly strung.
Yes, I know. I'll ring her and tell her to take a taxi both ways. It should be okay. Oh, by the way, I've made some more alterations.
Joan, I'm holding my meeting in the Red Room. Now, you are coming, aren't you? We've got to discuss a new budget proposal.
Yes, of course, Mr. Lewis.
Well, as soon as you're ready. Morning, Graham.
Morning, sir.
Right, I'll have to leave you to make the phone call to Maria. Now, you know all the details. Her appointment is with Mr. Bailey. You know, I recommended you to him.
Yes, I always go to Mr. Bailey.
And I must go. Can't keep the managing director waiting. Thank you. You will make that phone call to Maria straight away, won't you?
I will make that phone call to Maria straight away.
Cannonissimi. Pronto, pronto? Who is it? Who is it?
Oh, hello, Maria. This is Graham Jones. Mrs. Warner asked me to phone.
She is not here. To ring her, please, at the office. Thank you.
This isn't going to be easy. I can almost smell the garlic.
Pronto, pronto? Who is it?
It's Graham Jones again. Mrs. Warner would like you to go with Lucy to the dentist.
But I don't need to go to the dentist. I've very good teeth, huh?
No, you don't understand. No. Mrs. Warner would like you to take Lucy to the dentist.
What about my cooking, eh? I'm making the pie for dinner. Look.
Yes, it's very nice, David. You have to do that later.
Later? Pensi sono una schiava. I have many things to do which Mrs. Warner has written down, eh? I show you, look.
I can't read it without my glasses, love.
Okay, so I'll read it to you. Primo de Londra.
I'd rather you didn't, if you don't mind.
Okay,
Look,
okay.
Is Lucy there?
See, Lucy, she play with Felix. Look.
Now, Maria, as soon as the taxi arrives, you get Lucy into it and you take her to the dentist. Do you understand?
Oh, I thought that meeting would never end.
It's nearly 12 o'clock. That reporter will be here soon.
Yes, I know. I'm just going to get myself freshened up a bit. I bought a few things from home to make myself look a bit more respectable. Could you sort out these files, please? And make sure the office is clean and tidy. Top executive's office should always be clean and free from clutter.
And
Oh, and I think I'll put away that photograph of Lucy. I don't want to appear too maternal. I don't think I'll put out this one of me at the opening of the Durham factory. Much more impressive. I look quite good in that one.
yes, it was taken 10 years ago.
You know, I've never been able to understand why male executives insist on having photographs of their wives and children laid out on their desk.
Well, I know lots of male executives who prefer to have their secretaries laid out on their desk.
Graham, would you get some flowers?
I'll pop round to the cemetery. Mrs. Warner, Robin Hayes is down at reception. Shall I tell them to send him up?
No, sit Brenda down and tell her to bring him up in a couple of minutes.
Oh, you've changed. That was quick.
Oh, yes, I've worked out that if I have to, I can get dressed in the office in 2 minutes flat.
Well, I shouldn't tell Robin Hayes that. He might think that's how you got the job.
I'm just trying to make the point that although I'm a successful business executive, I can still be a woman.
That dress definitely makes the point that you're a woman. It definitely makes the point that you're a woman.
Graham, good publicity is a very important part of our business, and it's good for the management to create the right image. Could you sit in that chair, please? He's quite a tall man, I believe. I don't want him looking down at me. Psychologically, it's better if he has to look up at me. Could you turn the lever and let it down a bit?
shall I put a cushion on the floor?
Now, how do I look to you from there?
Well, I can see a lot of your legs and not much of your face.
Well, you better let it...
Mrs. Warner, Mr. Hayes to see you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Hayes.
Mrs. Warner.
I'm so sorry to keep you waiting. We had a few minor problems to sort out. Won't you sit down?
If you don't mind, I don't like sitting so low. It's bad for my back. I'll use this one over here if it's all the same with you.
Certainly. This is Graham Jones, my personal secretary.
How do you do?
Hello.
A woman executive with a male secretary. I'll make a note of that. It's quite unusual.
Oh, I don't see why. In this day and age, there's no longer any sex discrimination. I was chosen for this job from amongst 10 men.
Mrs. Warner chose me to be her secretary from amongst 16 girls. Can I offer you a drink?
Mrs. Warner?
Oh, vodka and tonic, please, Graham.
And a Perrier water, please. The angle I want to bring out in my article, Mrs. Warner, is whether a top woman executive, such as yourself, can really do the job as well as a man. A lot of the public really aren't convinced, you know.
I think that's an area we could discuss better over lunch, Mr. Hayes.
Fine, fine. Well, where would you like to go?
I think the company table at the Savoy, don't you?
Yes.
Thank you, Graham. Would you
Thank
see
you.
to the details, please?
Certainly.
You see, it's this one aspect of your job that really intrigues me, Mrs. Warner. I don't see how you can combine the jobs of executive, housewife, mother.
It's just a question of organization, Mr. Hayes. I keep my domestic life entirely separate from my work, and I never ever allow it to intrude into the office.
Maria, what are you doing here?
I must see Mrs. Warner.
No, you can't go in there. It's impossible.
I must see her.
You can't see her now. Where's Lucy? Did you leave her at the dentist?
Lucy, she will not even get out of the taxi to go to the dentist. I'm completely exhausted. But I was in here, then I was... Shh.
Keep your voice down. Where is Lucy?
Lucy. Lucy.
Hello, Lucy. Have you been a naughty girl? I thought you... What's that dog doing here? What else has she got outside?
She don't go out of the house unless I bring him with. So I do right, yes?
You couldn't have timed it better. Brenda, sit her down.
Come on,
Daisy,
sit down.
look after Lucy. Ruth, make them a cup of coffee.
You like
Please, keep your voices down.
Sissimo, Mrs. Warner, I must see her.
I'll tell Mrs. Warner.
Come on, sit down, do it.
From 8:30 in the morning when I leave the house until 7 p.m. when I return...
Mrs. Warner.
Just a moment, Graham. Everything is delegated. My maid, my child, even my dog. None of them are ever allowed to interfere with my work here. Isn't that right, Graham?
What was that, a dog?
Keep that dog quiet. And if it's going to type, get it to do some letters. It was a guard dog. The security patrol bring them in, you know. We get some very strange people in the office.
I think we ought to make our way to the restaurant, Mr. Hayes.
Oh, fine.
Let's just do that.
Thank you.
Now, this dog is coming out of here. It's like a zoo, and you keep your fingers off that company property. She has no right now.
What's going on? What shrimp? Take her in your office, for goodness sake. Lucy! Lucy Lastic! Oi, Lucy! Oh, now stop crying, darling, please. No, Lucy, come on, please. Sit. I wasn't cut out to be a mother. Lucy, darling, your mummy's had to go to a very important business lunch, and she won't be able to take you to the dentist.
I'm not going with Maria.
But you must go to the dentist, darling, otherwise you'll lose all your teeth. You look like that.
You won't be able to talk properly. Nobody will understand you.
Oh, you are funny.
So, you see, it'd be awful without your teeth, wouldn't it?
No, then I wouldn't have to brush them 3 times a day.
No, but you know I'm right. You should go to the dentist.
No, he'll hurt me.
Oh, Mr. Bailey? Of course he won't. I go to Mr. Bailey. He never hurts anybody.
No, I'm not going.
Would you go if I took you?
Oh, yes. I'll go with you.
I thought you would. Right. Well, there's no time to lose. Maria, you stay here with Felix.
Si, Signor Graham.
No, I want Felix to come too.
No, look at him. I don't think there's anything wrong with his teeth.
Please let him come.
No, you may be able to do what you like with Maria, but you're not going to do it with me. And he's not coming. Now, come along.
I don't want to go.
Yes, you do. Now, come along.
No, I don't.
Lucy, now you've got to... Never mind all that. know you enjoy it. Do you mind waiting a moment?
I don't want to go.
She won't hurt you.
He will.
Now, you stay there. Oh, Felix. Nice, lovely. Oh, hello. Sorry about the dog.
Not seen you for a long time.
No, I brought little Lucy. Her mother couldn't make it.
Well, we've been waiting for you, young lady. You love coming to the dentist, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Which is more than I can say for you, Mr. Jones. I see I sent you 3 reminders.
No, I've been very busy.
You'll have to come and see me soon.
Oh, well, I will.
Now then, Lucy, climb up on the chair, will you?
No, I'm always afraid of getting into that chair.
Oh, come on. There's nothing to be afraid of.
No, I don't want to.
It's easy now. Look, all you do is sit in the chair like this, lie back and open your mouth.
Oh, dear.
Huh?
That lower back molar of yours has deteriorated. Can you feel anything when I do this?
Ow!
I take it you felt something. I'll have to do something about that one straight away.
Well, excuse me, you don't understand. You see, this is Lucy's appointment.
Oh, Lucy's got a lovely little set of teeth, haven't you? Won't take me 5 minutes to look around and give them a clean.
We've only got 5
I'll see
minutes.
to her when I've finished with you.
No,
Novocaine? Double dose? Good. I'm going to have to dig down very deep.
I'd rather you didn't do it now.
Mr. Graham, you know what you said. Mr. Bailey never hurts anybody.
No.
Is the anaesthetic wearing off? Well, don't worry. Daisy's making a nice cup of coffee and he can take an aspirin with it.
Piping hot, just as he likes it. Here you are, Mr. Jones.
No, thank you, Daisy.
Oh.
Oh! The coffee's red hot.
But I thought that was exactly how you liked
Well,
it.
it is, but not when I've had a filling. Yes, Mrs. Warner.
Oh, Graham, Mr. Hayes and I have just come back from a most productive lunch, and the photographer's here. They'd like a photograph of me dictating to you. So could you come in for a minute, please?
Yes, Mrs. Warner. I want to take my photograph. This has never happened to me before. They're going to take my photograph and I can't even smile. Do I look all right?
Oh, yes, you look fine.
It's a bit swollen, isn't it?
No, not at all. Your face is always a bit lopsided.
Get that dog tied up. I don't want it wandering all round the office. And as soon as Maria comes back from shopping, get them both in a taxi and send them home.
Bill, I want a photograph of Mrs. Warner dictating to her secretary and looking very businesslike. This article is about a top woman executive who is cool and efficient and never allows her private life to interfere in the office.
Oh, Maria, Graham said, could you take Lucy and Felix home immediately?
No, I have just finished shopping.
No, you've got to go right now.
Now?
Yes.
Felix, vieni qui. Felix!
What was that noise in your office, Graham?
Oh, no, I better have a look. Oh, no, Maria, what have you done?
It was Felix. He dragged everything on there.
Please, stop talking to me like a niece. I don't understand what you're saying. Look at my cactus. It's taken me 2 years to get it like that. Now the knob's dropped off.
At least one good thing's come out of this. We haven't got to put up with that anymore.
How could you girls let this happen?
Don't blame me. I was sitting out there when all this happened.
Oh, it's a pity you weren't sitting right there.
The intercom's buzzing.
I know it is, but where is it? Yes, Mrs. Warner.
Graham, the photographer is waiting.
Yes, Mrs. Warner.
Come back into the office.
Right away, Mrs. Warner. Now, you have to get all this cleared up. I've got to go back to Mrs. Warner. You've started me tooth off again.
What's all that noise about, Graham?
They're rearranging the filing system.
Goodbye, Mummy. I'm going home now.
Lucy, what are you doing here?
Mr. Graham took you to the dentist. It was great. Marie's taking me home now. Must go. Bye.
Bye. Run along.
She wouldn't go with Maria.
That was your little daughter, wasn't it? Yeah. And you took her to the dentist?
Only in my lunch hour.
Yes, well, this will make a very nice human story. If you'd like to reseat yourself there, Mrs. Warner, and if you'd like to come and stand this time, Mr. Jones, over here, taking dictation still, and looking this way, that's right. Look at him, Mrs. Warner. Bill, I want a couple of shots in this position now. Keep a nice distance between you, and look this way. Smile.
Oh, what about your photo in the papers then?
I got an extra copy. I thought you might like to keep one.
Actually, I've got 12.
Hey, Mrs. Warner's not going to be very pleased, is she? She's hardly in it. I mean, it's all about you taking her kid to the dentist. To be a top woman executive, you have to pick the right secretary.
Good morning, Mr. Jones.
Hey.
Well, I suppose you're very pleased with yourself today.
Well, actually, it wasn't a very good photograph, but next time they do it, I'll make sure they take a better one.
You only got that article because the journalist, the photographer, and the editor are all men. Chauvinist pigs.
Oh, no, it's wonderful. Listen, Graham Jones is a perfect secretary. More and more men are beginning to move into jobs traditionally reserved for women and doing them better.
He even goes on to say that we're soon going to have male midwives.
Oh, don't worry, dear. I shall stick to shorthand typing.
I thought I heard you come in.
Morning, Mrs. Warner.
Would you come into my office? I'd like a word with you.
Well, it's nice to have known you. I'll ring the agency and see if there are any jobs going.
You've obviously seen this article, Graham.
Yes, not very good, is it?
Well, it's very good for you. Look at those headlines. The man behind the woman at the top. I don't get a mention.
Oh, you do? Twice.
Yes, just to say that I have a daughter, a dog, and a mad Italian maid, and that you look after all of them. And I can't say I'm very pleased with the picture, either.
Neither am I. Do you know, I'd been to the dentist and I couldn't smile, you see. Anyway, it's my wrong side. If they'd taken me over here...
What's wrong with it is that I don't happen to be in it. You didn't tell me you posed on your own. Rather sneaky, don't you think?
But I didn't. You are in that picture.
Me? Where?
Oh, look, of course you are. There you are, but they've cut you out.
What?
You see? You see that? You see your shadow over there, you see? And look, there's your toe peeping round the corner of the den.
Charming. I buy a £200 dress for the photographer, and all I get is a picture of my toe.
Well, it has come out very well.
Well, it's not what I expected, and it doesn't do a thing for 8 staff.
Morning, Joe. Morning, Graham.
Morning, Mr. Lewis.
Now, about this article. Marvellous.
I think so.
Yes, it's just what we need. I mean, we're always reading about our top executives jetting all over the place. Now, here's something about one of our staff. Makes 8 Star look positively human. I must say, that chap Hayes certainly thought up a great twist.
Excuse me, sir. It wasn't his idea, it was Mrs. Warner's.
Really? Great stuff, my dear. Congratulations. Great stuff.
One thing it didn't say about you in that article, Graham.
What's that?
You're a wonderful liar.
I don't think your lunch was wasted, do you?
No. Now, Graham, I've got a lot on the agenda.
I thought you might.
I'd like you to type out these reports that I've prepared. Oh, and the advertising agency is coming to discuss the campaign for the new season.
Yeah.
Oh, and my washing machine's leaking, so could you ring the maintenance men? And we have to prepare the monthly sales chart, so I'm afraid we're going to have to work during lunch.
Oh, no, I'm definitely going out to lunch.
But, Graham, it says here, Graham Jones never stops working, and if necessary, will give up his lunch hour to help Mrs. Warner.
It just proves one thing, Mrs. Warner.
What's that?
You should never believe anything you read in the newspaper.
He gets his satisfaction sharing her success. Take a letter, Mr. Jones. Feeling better, Mr. Jones. Here's our appreciation. Always saves her life. He's a perfect combination, a computer and a wife. You're a wonder.
No.
You're a marvel.
Well,
You're a treasure.
perhaps.
Mr. Jones. End of letter, Mr. Jones.
How kind.